I'm Jan Chapman, and I took part in the 2010 women's retreat that was entitled Create with Spirit. Now, this was shortly after I first came to Unity, but tapping into my creative side was not really why I was there, because I'm a professional actress. So I act and I sing and I dance and I paint and write and do all kinds of creative things. So that was not an issue for me. It was the with spirit part that really intrigued me. So, because you know what they say about actors, about artists of any kind, they being the naysayers, right? They say, you're never going to make a living at that. You're going to be a starving artist all your life. You're going to get a real job, they say, right? Well, there's a part of me that is fairly obstinate when it comes to things, certain things. So I've been pursuing my creative passions into a life in the arts anyway, in spite of what they say. But the thing is, I was still listening to them, right? It was like they were on my shoulders, going in my ears, and they're very loud. So I felt very much like I was going it completely alone, and the world was against me, and that was scary, and it was oftentimes very depressing, and not surprisingly, I was not very successful at it. I was a good actress, but I was not very good at making a living as an actress. So it was what I learned when I came to Unity, and what really gelled for me when I came to the women's retreat that year was that, in fact, I'm not alone at all. I'm not. It was not obstinacy that made me pursue my creative desires. It was the voice of God. It was the voice of God saying to me, girl, I gave you unique gifts and talents for a reason. Now would you get out there and use them, please? I'm not going to light up this higher path for you and make it so obvious right there in front of you and then not support you as you go along there. Of course I'm going to support you. I'm going to fully support you. It's what I do. I'm God, right? But I couldn't hear that voice. I couldn't hear it because I had naysayers on my shoulders screaming in my ears all the time. But at the retreat, a really interesting thing happened. I went up to Reverend Eileen and I was like, so, what's the deal with the labyrinth out there? Because I didn't know anything about them. And she explained how some people like to use them. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go out there and give it a go. And at midnight, I walked the labyrinth for the very first time. So I'm walking slowly into the labyrinth, and I begin conjuring up all the various negative, naysaying mantras that I'd ever heard in my life and taken into my own belief system. And I conjured them and I sloshed them around in there, and I just started letting them go, just releasing them right and left, like I was like flicking these naysayers off of my shoulders, just ditching them in the labyrinth behind me. And I kept on my way into the middle, where I sat down, I closed my eyes, and I just listened. I listened to the insect noises around me in the night. I listened to the footfalls of my fellow journeyers around in the labyrinth, and I listened to the silence, in which I finally heard very clearly, I got your back. I got your back. So, as I made my way out of that labyrinth, it was extraordinary. It's like I had kind of a spring in my step. I was clipping along. I think I was skipping as I came shooting out of the mouth of that thing. And it was the whole way out, I was wrapping my arms around all the good that I knew God had in store for me. It was like I was taking up arms as my own champion. I was shouting to myself inside my own head. I was like, yeah, I say, I am talented. Yeah, I say, yeah, I am fully supported. I am love, and I'm peace, and I'm joy in action. I'm balanced, I'm powerful, and yes, I say, I am fully supported. I'm supporting myself. I got God on my side, inside. God's got my back. And I came out of there, it was cool. It was way cool. Ever since that awakening, I've been incredibly successful in my career. I mean, not like movie star kind of success, but in Kansas City, I work consistently, show after show after show. Long gigs, good money, good theaters, good productions. I don't even have to audition anymore. They just call me up and say, hey, you want to do a show? I'm not here today with you live on the platform sharing, but by video, because the whole month of February I'm rehearsing my next plays. Now I'm not saying this to brag, I'm really not. I'm saying it because it demonstrates my understanding that when you know in your core that you are supported, fully supported by the universe in whatever it is that you feel divinely guided to do, you can't help but be successful at it. I mean, in spite of the odds and the odds makers, you can't help it. And I personally learned that at the women's retreat. So ladies, I'm here to tell you, I'm sure that this year's retreat has got all manner of exciting insights and awakenings just waiting for each and every one of you, and for all of you as a group. So if there is any way that you can work it out to get there, get there. You will not regret it. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Thanks.